Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is April 22nd. Hope everybody had a good weekend. This market bouncing a little bit today. Friday had an initial sell-off in the overnight session or pre-market with Israel and Iran, and then recovered and then sold off basically on Friday. Taking back not all of those gains, but taking back a lot of the gains from the morning. And the market was kind of mixed on Friday. It wasn't all negative. Healthcare stocks bounced. Energy stocks. Net healthcare was up. Johnson and Johnson was up. If you look at the breadth, it was definitely not all negative. So, however, the heavyweight stocks that do move the market were mostly down. So that's why the market moved down. Okay. So we'll get into all that, and I wrote a lot of notes over the weekend of what I saw, and we'll get into all that. But without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the market, along with gamma exposure level, supply and demand, anchor VWAPs, and the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the preceding day. When all these things line up, helps me put risk on. But the main part of it is it's a foundation of me to just see what I want to do in the market, what I see. As soon as I put the market profile, volume profile, and in those levels that I talked about, it just right away I can map out a plan, a scenario that I want to do. And that's the main thing that does for me. It doesn't come right away. You have to do it for a long time in order to see those things quickly. But when it does, it's a game changer. So, without further ado, subscribe. Set an alert if you haven't already. Okay? If you do like what you see, please leave me a like. Wait to the end if you want to leave me a like. That's fine. You can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. Alright, we can get right into the futures watch list here. And let's see what we have going on this morning. Alright, so we got a little bounce happening. So Ether's up 2.95%, Bitcoin's up 2.29%, the Dow's up 0.48, the Nasdaq's up 0.47, ES up 0.4. It's kind of moving around on me here. 0.45, Russell's up 0.46, the dollar is up 0.12. 10-year yield has not reported yet. 30-year bonds, they are being sold still, so that should push the 10-year yield up higher again. Okay, crude finding some weakness, down 1%. Okay, crude went up, balanced, had ultimate balance, broke down, and now we're kind of hanging out down there. All right, the VIX is down almost 2% with this little bounce. Okay, we're at 18, still fear in the markets though. Gold pulling back. All right, maybe some profit taking happening. Gold's down 2.3%. Okay, silver is down 4.64%. All right, that's the more volatile metal is silver. All right, so that's what's going on with futures. Okay, let's move over to the Max 7. Okay, Coinbase getting some love. They are up 1.89%. Bob is up 1.13. Meta's up 0.98. Amazon up 0.96. Okay, let me see what I wrote on that. Meta came to support at 476. All right, if you look at Meta's monthly charts, two big selling excesses, wicks on the top of those months. Just have to see. I'm not saying that means something, but Meta did come down to a key support level. Amazon at a key support of 172. So they're bouncing. All right. Apple's been very weak. Nvidia. Now Nvidia was up almost 2% earlier. So those gains have been pared back. All right. That was up significantly before, but I don't know what happened. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. On the negative side, Microsoft. Now, Microsoft came down to 400, the 100 moving average. On the daily chart, that's down 0.18. Okay. Netflix is down 0.64. Tesla, more price cuts. They're just getting hammered. I mean, price cuts, low demand, it's just getting really hammered. So, Tesla's really getting hammered. It's pretty bleak out there for Tesla right now. Okay? Now, moving on to top sector stocks. Okay? Salesforce up 2.8. Reason why that is they were gonna purchase this company Informatica, and they decided not to. So that's moving the stock. Okay. Home Depot, Eli Lilly pulled back, maybe getting some love. Cat. The laggards. Let's see here. United Healthcare is kind of flat. Um, Chevron and Exxon. There you go. Okay. Now swing trade list. Who's the leader here? Riot, AMC, Mara with the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin ETF. MicroStrategy. Okay. AstraZeneca, Verizon reported earnings, good earnings, they're up. Robinhood, I think that's Papa John's. That's pretty much the leaders, right? So let's go to laggards. Donald Trump down 4.62%. Cardinal Health down 3.43. Gold miners pulling back. That's the wild gold miner, junior gold miners. Super microcomputers, huge down day on Friday. This is continuing. It's down 2.75%. It was down like something like 23%. I want to say something like that on Friday. Soundhound, Lucid, obviously gold, Taiwan Semiconductors, Western Digital. Those are the downs. Okay. We go back and let's look at the sectors. Is there a leader? Yes, there is. Financials. Okay, so financials is up 0.5, technology is up 0.42, real estate up 0.31, semis up 0.2, it's moving around on me, 0.28, with communications up 0.27. Okay, the laggard today is energy and utilities. Okay, now on that front, real quick, XLK came down to a very key support of 193. Okay, 193. So profit taking could happen there. Okay, XLC is still pretty strong. Communications, that's your Google, that's your Meta, that's your Netflix. Okay, semis came down to almost close to the 100 EMA, 100 moving average. I'm sorry. XLY, that's your Tesla, your Amazon, your Home Depot, closed below the 200 MA. Interesting. I wrote something else here. I love when I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, monthly support. Huge monthly support on 169 in XLY. So that's what I'm saying. Some of these stocks some of these sectors came really down to some key levels, which I feel people might take some profits today. XLV is moving sideways after a big drop, and they are at 138 support. So those are some things with the sectors. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to some news, some economic calendars, some earnings. Let's do that now. All right. So what do we have for this week? Today, we don't really have much. Chicago Fed at 8:30. All right. Tomorrow, we have S&P Composite Manufacturing. All this is 9:45, then 10 a.m. New home sales. So I'm going to stay away from anything until like probably 10:10. Right? That stinks because sometimes a good setup happens and it's just not worth it to be in a trade there. Wednesday, durable goods. You got crude inventory. Thursday, we got GDP, initial jobless claims, pending home sales. Friday, you got core PCE. That's the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, the PCE, personal consumption expenditure. Okay, that's what we have going on. It seems Fed speak is quiet this week. Quiet. I know they have, when the next FOMC, they have like a 2 weeks of silence. So I haven't really saw the next FOMC, the date, but that's usually what happens. They go into a silent period. That's what's going on there. Okay, let's see if on upgrades and downgrades if this is updated. Just want to see upgrades, Alcoa, Papa John's. Nothing crazy. Downgrades, nothing there. Western Digital got downgraded. Spot they were down. Nothing standing out. Just want to see if there's anything different here. Probably not. Let's see here. There we go. All right. I know there was downgrades. Let's look at the downgrades. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Thought there was something different. I did see something this morning that the major stocks got downgraded, but I don't see that here. Okay. Big tech earnings this week. We'll just look at that. I don't see there's not much. There's not much here. Just trying to see. All right. Let's go to earnings this week. So today, Verizon, right? They reported they had good earnings. Okay. Today after the close, you got Cliffs, CLF. You have SAP, right? Tomorrow before the open, GM, UPS, GE, PepsiCo, Lockheed Martin, Spotify. So we're starting to get into some nice. You got Freeport McMoran, right? That's the copper and gold. RTX. So you got defensives, RTX in Lockheed Martin, JetBlue, Halliburton. Like, all right. So tomorrow's after the close, Tesla, Visa, Enphase. So you got a big week this week. Texas Instruments, Seagate, Mattel. All right. Wednesday, Boeing, AT&T, Vertiv, Humana, Boston Scientific, Biogen. Wednesday after the close, Meta, IBM, Ford, Chipotle, ServiceNow. So this is a pretty big week here. Thursday, we have Royal Caribbean, American Airlines, Newmont, Altria, Caterpillar, Southwest, Bristol Myers Squibb, AstraZeneca. Thursday, here you go. Big, big, big day after the close. Thursday, you got Microsoft, you got Google, you got Intel, Snap, Roku, Western Digital. Wow, big day. T-Mobile, Gilead. And Friday before the open, Exxon, Chevron, AbbVie, Colgate, and let's see, Charter. And that's going to wrap it up. So that's a lot of big earnings, right? That's really a lot of big earnings this week. I think we're going to wrap that up and get right into the daily charts. All right, so let's do that. All right, let's look at it. All right, so you have a little channel here that we are honoring, right? Right here, I adjusted this a little bit, but look what there it came down to. Right here. All right, so let's, if we're going to just zoom in a little bit, you came right here. Okay, a little channel. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down days. 6 down days, right? You're hitting the bottom of this channel, right? You also have the 100-day moving average here at 492. You look to the left, you have a monthly high here in the month of February. I'm sorry, that'd probably be January because these are previous. Okay, so right, January's highs, okay, in the 100-day moving average. So, could we come down here? I would think we would bounce a little bit. Okay, you can see we just decimated the previous week's lows. Here was the previous week's lows, and you came all the way down here. So I would expect some consolidation here, but you never know. Probability wise, that's what I would expect. Maybe a little bounce, maybe a little consolidation. Let the market digest this down move, right? Where are we at now? We are at 497.30. 497.30. Where are we here? All right, so that's in the middle. Not the best place, okay? Talking about for a trade. You're in the middle of Friday's session. It's not really the best place to be, okay? Not really. In the middle of the session, it's not the best. Okay, so today, I would expect if you get some more downside, maybe test this 492, get a bounce, right? Or maybe you hold last week's lows, 494. You have to see. Expected move for today is $5.95. Call it 6. Okay, so what would that mean? That would mean around 495 was the close, so you're talking about 501 up here, or you're talking about 490. That's the expected move for today. Okay, now moving on to Qs. Now the Qs, I can get rid of this now. Okay, maybe you can make a new trend line here. Okay, so what do we have going on in the Qs? Look at the Qs. Came right here, blasted through the 100-day moving average, right? But if you look to the left, right here, you came to a very key level here, around 412, right here. You see this resistance? This was a prior month's highs, right here. Now, the one thing in the Qs, if you look at a monthly chart, okay, it took out the last 2 months of buying. Okay, you can see it here. Might as well just show you. Let's go with a monthly. There you go. These 2 months, look, closed. Well, remember, the month's not over, but look, you took out the 2 months of buying so far with this month. So pretty interesting. Okay, that's to note, right? So 2 months you took out, and now you're here. Like I said, key level. XLK also came to a key level. That's the biggest sector in the S&P 500. Look where it came to. Same as the Qs. Look at this right here. Okay, I would think if I was short, I'd want to take some profit, right? Because the next move down, woof, you go down to 183. Got the 200-day moving average here, 185 in the XLK. Okay, so let's go back to the Qs. Let's just see where we're at now. We're at 416.75, 416.75. Okay, so the Qs are relatively a little weaker as far as Friday session. So we're not in the middle of it. We're kind of at the lower third of it. But like I said, this is a lot of selling. You're going to get some type of bounce. Doesn't mean the bull market happens. You're going to get something. That's this. When is that going to happen? Could it happen today? Could it happen today? Could it happen tomorrow? Who knows? All right. We just got to look at it. All right. Like I said, XLK came down to a key support level, so that's what's going on there. That is the Qs. All right. That is the SPY. Now I forgot to do what I wanted to do. We're going to go into the futures just to look at those as well, right? You got to look at these as well. So the futures, right? So look at that. In futures, the ES did break the 100-day moving average. See that? Broke it. Boop. Bought up. You can see this is the great part when I show you futures, because you were looking at it the live market, right? Futures are 23 hours a day. So open at 6 p.m. Look at that. We closed here on Friday. Now look, but we're in the middle of the session. Okay, but this is the futures market, and this is back adjusted. So let's do the Nasdaq and show you that where that is. Really crushed this 100-day moving average, but guess what? Look, lower third of this session, just like I said, right? Lower third of Friday session right now, and we're came right down here. So, like I said, probably maybe get a bounce today. Don't know. All right, let's look at this triple-headed monster here. Let's look at that 10-year yield, which has been weighing finally. It's finally meaning something. Okay. And right now, the 10-year yield is up 0.67%. Okay, we're at 4.64 yield. Okay. So there's our highs, and we're consolidating here now. So let's look at this move. Right? Came from down here, swing low, swing low, swing low, and up above all the moving averages. Look, when the moving averages are all fanned out like that, 9 EMA, 20 simple moving average, 50 simple moving average, 200 day. Only thing you need is the 100 day to go over the 200 day. That's pretty bullish. Okay, for yields, which means bearish for bonds. All right, so you got strength in the 10-year yield. What do we have else, right? This is going to work against the stock market. You got the dollar. Look at the strength here, right? You got this swing high here at 107. Can we work ourselves back up to that? That's going to all put weight on commodities, all put weight on equities. Okay, now, one important thing of this triple-headed monster, which has been rearing its head, is the VIX. The VIX is, ever since we made this move, we've been holding over 16, right? So today we're at 18.32. We're down a little bit. Look at that. We reached a 21.36 on Friday at one point. We're still hovering. So just to let everybody know, this is 30 days out of fear. Okay, this is 30 days out of fear. This is what this represents, the VIX. Now, a 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the S&P 500. So expect a little larger move than 1% today. That's the volatility, which the volatility brings big moves, wild swings. Okay, that's what everybody likes. Well, maybe not everybody, but it helps your day trading. You just got to adjust your risk accordingly. Okay, that some large orders hitting the tape after probably some news. Okay, now let's get into the structure part. Okay, all right. So let's move this up. Let's get into some structure. Okay, here's the market profile, volume profile with all the levels I talk about when I introduce my channel. Okay, here's the weekly profile. Weekly profile. This is rolling. Just means it rolls. Okay, you got most trader price of the 24-hour session at 5,072, and you got a distribution here, and then you get the excess to the bottom. Okay, you got this excess lower here. This was Friday. So you went lower in the overnight and didn't take out the overnight lows. Now we're making a lower high again. So lower high, lower high, lower high. I'm not saying that's bullish. That's just what's happening, right? And what's looking like a balanced last 5 days. If this is what it's like, you got your excess in, a little bit excess to the top, and the most trader price in the middle. I understand that this most trader price is not this one, but it probably will move today somewhere. Okay. If this most trader price does move to here today, it's bearish, right? If it moves to here today, that's bearish. If it moves here, it's bearish. Okay. When that moves down and value follows price, that's bearish. Okay. Now, we still do have our most trader price of the month. I don't think you can see it in my chart. Yeah, is up. It's up at 52.54, and we still have the most trader price of the year around 52, right around here, around 52.04. So those are still up there, right? That's how far we moved away from those. Okay. Now, what do we have? Zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in a little bit on this session. Okay. We're zoomed in, and let's look. Friday's highs. Friday's lows, and look, we're nestled inside of Friday's session here. Here's the open of the overnight, this much long to this much short. But we're in the middle of the session, right? So this profile is kind of balanced. Price is here. Look at the middle of Friday session. That is not a lot of edge there. Okay, there's just not. Okay, I don't look at it. It's got a poor low here. That means it's got like a double bottom or a triple bottom here. So what do you take from this? So what am I seeing? This now becomes a weak low because look, value area from Friday's right here. You got a demand zone here as well. Okay, you have a poor low in the overnight, which just means multiple 30-minute bars. Okay, it's like a double bottom. And you have the value area. Now, value area represents, this is 70% of the trade on Friday happened there. Okay, so if you break this, come down here and break this, you might test Friday's lows into this demand zone. Okay, that's a significant level. Now, that level on futures is around 5,010 to 5,007, this area. If the market holds it and in this demand, then you could propel it to do a little bounce today. Okay. Now, what else do we have? We have a weak high here around 5,057 right here. Okay. It's Friday's high and the overnight high from Thursday into Friday. That's a weak high. So we could possibly come up here and that could be resistance, or we could break it and then the market is really going to bounce. Okay. Those are the levels that I'm looking at. Okay. But like I said, I don't like where we are right now. Okay. This is in the middle of Friday. Okay. So you need to test here or test here for me in order for me to act. That's really it. Okay. So if we're looking at a bullish scenario, we're going to use this weak low. Now, weak low, just to make sure everybody understands, when I say weak low, it's just multiple inflection points lining up, right? So you have a demand zone, you have overnight lows, you have a poor low in the overnight, right, which is a double bottom in a 30-minute. You have the value area low from Friday. So this is very important, 5,010. So if this market even does this, comes down, now you have a weekly day VWAP here, just start it. This is where the area is going to test. So you could bounce right off this demand, do higher low, test weak high over here. That could act as resistance, but if we break and hold, pull back, we definitely can test up here. Okay. Now, of course, I would call this more of a bear chart, not this one. If we push down, push up, push down, break that demand, and then we go into this demand, test Friday's lows, that could be a little bit of a bear trap as well. If we can't make it there and we kind of bounce higher low, this could also bring us higher. I like this one better though. Okay, but you just got to see what the market gives you now as far as the bearish side. Okay, same thing. Okay, a couple things can happen. You can push up into here, test the weak high. If you just go boop and you don't find acceptance over it and you do lower high, you are going back down to at least the most traded price of Friday, and you're going to probably test this weak low. Remember, this was bullish in my bullish scenario, but this could be bearish. So what happens, what you want to see here is you want to take out this demand, push down and hold, and then you're probably going to test Friday's lows into this demand. Now, super weak, you can go then all the way and test this overnight low here that has not been touched. Okay. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, now we can move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ together. Okay, I'm going to move this up. Let's make this expanded a little bit. Okay, so let's look at the NASDAQ. It's very similar. Very, very similar. Okay. They came into you bounced out of the demand. Now, then, if you notice one thing about the Nasdaq and the ES is see the Nasdaq took out the overnight lows on Friday. See it pushed down, took them out. ES didn't. That's because the ES had some sectors that were strong that day. Financials, okay, financials were strong. So that was the difference. Now, where are we? By the midpoint, right? So it's very similar to what I just said. It doesn't have the weak high here as perfect. Does it have the weak low? It's not as perfect either. Here's the value area low from Friday. Here's the overnight low. Here's demand. See, they're not equally. So I like ES set up better. It's just more technically correct. Still the same scenario. You'd have this zone be your buy, be your basically your bull bear line. Okay. So really quickly, I don't have to go over it too much because it's the same. Okay, now the one thing you do see here is you have the most traded prices all the way up here. You need this market. This is in the 24 hours, but here's the most traded price of the RTH session. Okay, you need the market for the NASDAQ to bring this level down here. If it can't, we're going to rip right back up. Okay, so scenarios very similar. This is our zone. Overnight lows and the value area low, and this demand, like I said, doesn't line up as perfectly as the ES. Same thing. Come in here, you bounce, you could make you go higher, right? You could come down here, test Friday's lows, and this demand also move higher. That's the bullish signs. The the bearish sign, you're in supply now. Okay, so you do have supply that has not been broken. If you can not take this out, right, and you're going to come down here, if you take out this demand, you hold, you can test Friday's lows and this demand, right? Also, you can run up to this high here, people take some profits and say, oh my God, I caught the bounce, lower high, and then you can also roll over, okay? But right now, I am liking the ES better, okay? I'm liking the ES better. Just have to see. What does NVIDIA do today? What does Semi do today? Because NVIDIA now back up almost 1%. It was up almost 2%. So really got to judge it how the market looks on the open. Okay. And that will do it for me. Okay. I apologize. On Friday, I don't know if I mentioned this. I had technical difficulties with NinjaTrader that I was trying to figure out. My market profiles weren't showing data. I figured it out, but I figured it out at like 9 something. So, but anyway, that's what's going on. That's the scenarios. All right. Subscribe, sit and alert if you haven't already. All right. Hopefully, you got something out of this analysis and you give me a big thumbs up or a like. Of course, you could always follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right. So, hope everybody has a good day. Remember, Mondays, try to settle in, digest, get the most information you can, and then attack if your plan comes to fruition. All right. So,